Good evening, everybody. Today we are going to study a few multiple choice questions for the UPSC Prelims examination. Which one of the following is likely to be the most inflationary in its effects? A. Repayment of public debt. B. Borrowing from the public to finance a budget deficit. C. Borrowing from banks to finance a budget deficit. D. Creation of new money to finance a budget deficit. What do you think the correct answer here is? Now, let us see the option one by one. Repayment of public debt. Repayment of public debt typically doesn't directly lead to inflation. Repayment of public debt is a neutral action where the government is fulfilling its debt obligations, which doesn't inherently increase the money supply or demand within the economy. Now, second option B. Borrowing from public to finance a budget deficit involves the government issuing securities such as bonds to raise funds. This method doesn't immediately increase the money supply since it's reallocating the existing money from investors to the government. While it might influence the interest rate and investment behavior, its direct inflationary effect is limited compared to other methods. Now, borrowing from banks to finance a budget deficit. Borrowing from banks to finance a budget deficit can be somewhat inflationary since it might lead to an increase in money supply if the banks create new deposits in the process of lending to government. However, this impact is moderated by central banks' monetary policy and regulatory framework, which aim to manage liquidity and control the inflation. Now, the last option, creation of new money to finance a budget deficit. Creation of new money to finance a budget deficit, also known as monetizing the debt, is the most direct inflationary method among the options. When the central bank or government creates new money to cover a budget deficit, it directly increases the money supply without a corresponding increase in goods and services, potentially leading to inflation. This action can dilute the value of money, leading to price increase across the economy. So the correct option here is creation of new money to finance a budget deficit. Now coming to the second question. The money multiplier in an economy increases with which of the following? A. Increase in cash reserve ratio in the banks. B. Increase in the statutory liquidity ratio in the banks. C. Increasing in the banking habit of the people. And D. Increasing in the population of the country. Now, increase in the cash reserve ratio in the banks. The cash reserve ratio is the percentage of depositors' balance banks must hold as reserves with the central bank. Increasing the cash reserve ratio would actually decrease the money multiplier because banks have less money to lend out. Higher reserve means banks can support fewer deposits through lending, which decreases the money creation process. Now, the second option, increase in statutory liquidity ratio SLR in the banks. Similar to cash reserve ratio, the SLR, that is statutory liquidity ratio, is the percentage of deposits that banks must maintain in the form of liquid assets themselves and not with the central bank. Increasing the SLR, that is statutory liquidity ratio, also reduces the money multiplier by reducing the amount of funds available for banks to lend out. Then number three, increasing in the banking habit of people. Now, when more people start using banking services, depositing their money in the banks instead of holding it as cash, banks have more funds to lend out. This increases the base for money multiplier effect as each deposited unit can be lent and redeposited several times, expanding the money supply in the economy. Number four, increase in population of country. While an increased population might lead to higher demand for money and possibly more deposits and lending activities, it does not directly affect the money multiplier mechanism. The impact would depend on the banking habits of population and other economic factors. So the correct option here is C, increase in the banking effect of people. It is a money multiplier. Now, third question. Gold tranche, also called reserve tranche, refers to A, loan system of World Bank, B, one of the operations of a central bank, C, a credit system granted by WTO to its members, D, a credit system granted by IMF to its members. Now, gold tranche refers to credit system granted by IMF to its members. The gold tranche or Reserve Bank tranche is not related to loan systems provided by the World Bank, one of the operations of central bank. So the correct answer here is a credit system granted by IMF to its member. The option is correct. As per IMF, the gold tranche refers to financial resources or credit that IMF provides to its members. So, gold tranche refers to a credit system granted by IMF to its members. Let us move on to the next question. With reference to land reforms in independent India, which of the following statement is correct? Land reforms. A. The ceiling laws were aimed at family holdings and not individual holdings. B. The major aim of land reforms was providing agricultural land to all the landless. C. It results in cultivation of cash crops as predominant form of cultivation. D. Land reforms permitted no exemptions to the ceiling limits. The ceiling laws were aimed at family holdings and of not individual holdings. Ceiling laws, part of land reform efforts, were designed to limit the maximum amount of land that could be owned by individual or families. These laws aim to redistribute the surplus land above the ceiling to landless and marginal farmers. The implementation varied across states, with some focusing on individual limits, while others considered family holdings as unit for applying ceilings. The major aim of land reforms was providing agricultural land to all the landless. This is one of the key objectives of land reforms, which was to redistribute the land to the landless and the marginal farmers to ensure equitable access to land resources. The aim was to address rural poverty and improve socio-economic conditions for the rural poor. It resulted in cultivation of cash crops as a predominant form of cultivation. So the correct option here is the major aim of the land reforms was providing agricultural land to all the landless persons. Which one of the following is not included in assets of commercial bank in India? A. Advances, B. Deposits, C. Investments, D. Money at call and short notice. Which of the following is not included in the assets of commercial bank? A. Advances, B. Deposits, C. Investments, D. Money at call and short notice. The correct answer here is B. Deposits. Now let us look at other options. What are advances? What are advances? Can anybody? What are advances? Please type in the chat box. Advances refer to loans and credit facilities sanctioned and distributed to the disbursed to the bank's customers. For example, home loan, business loan, credit cards, etc. These are advances. It represents the bank's core asset that earns interest income over the tenure of loans. Hence, it is a key income generating asset of the balance sheet. Now, coming to deposits. Deposits represent the deposits like saving account, current account, fixed deposits maintained by customers at the bank. The bank owes this money to depositor, hence it's a financial obligation or liability and not an asset earning income for the bank. Then comes investment. These include investments made by the bank in securities, bonds, shares, debentures, and other financial market instruments from its capital and deposits. These earn interest, dividend, or trading gains for the bank. Hence, it is an asset. So, which of the following is not included in asset? It is deposits. 6. If a commodity is provided free to public by government, then A. The opportunity cost is 0. B. The opportunity cost is ignored. C. The opportunity cost is transferred from consumer of the product to tax paying public. D. The opportunity cost is transferred from consumers of the product to the government. Opportunity cost is the cost of choosing one alternative over another and missing the benefit offered by the foregone opportunity, investing or otherwise. Opportunity cost refers to a benefit that a person could have received but gave up to take another course of action. Stated differently, an opportunity cost represents an alternative given up when a decision is made. Opportunity cost is also called the economic cost. So the correct option here is the opportunity cost is 0. Increase in absolute and per capita real GNP do not connote a higher level of economic development if A. Industrial output fails to keep pace with agricultural output. B. Agricultural output fails to keep pace with industrial output. C. Poverty and unemployment increase. D. Imports grow faster than exports. So correct option here is poverty and unemployment increase. Increase in absolute and per capita real GNP do not connote a higher level of economic development if poverty and unemployment increase. Which one of the following statement correctly describes the meaning of legal tender money? A. The money which is tendered in courts of law to defray the fee of legal case. B. The money which a creditor is under compulsion to accept in settlement of his claims. C. The bank money in the form of checks, drafts, bills of exchange. The metallic money in circulation in a country. Correct option here is B. The money which a creditor is under compulsion to accept in settlement of his claims. Who among the following can join the national pension system? A. Resident Indian citizens only. B. Persons of age 21 to 55 only. All state government employees joining the service after the date of notification. All central government employees, including those of armed forces, joining the services after 2004. Correct option here is all state government employees joining the services after the date of notification by the respective state government. The term base erosion and profit system shifting is sometimes seen in the context of curbing of tax evasion by multinational companies. Now let us see all the options one by one. Which one of the following is likely to be most inflationary in its effect? The correct option here is creation of new money to finance budget deficit. The money multiplier in the economy increases with which of the following? Increase in the banking habit of the people. Gold tranche, reserve tranche refers to credit system granted by IMF to its members. With reference to land reforms in independent India, which one of the following statement is correct? The major aim of land reforms was providing agricultural land to all the landlords. Which one of the following is not included in assets of commercial bank in India? A. Advances. B. Deposits. C. Investment. D. Money at call at short notice. The correct option here is B. Deposits. If a commodity is provided free to public by the government, then the opportunity cost is zero. Increase in absolute and per capita GNP do not connote a higher level of economic development if the poverty and unemployment increases. Which one of the following statement correctly describes the meaning of legal tender money? Legal tender money is the money which a creditor is under compulsion to accept in settlement of his claims. Who among the following can join the national pension system? All the state government employees joining the services after the date of notification by respective state government. The term base erosion and profit shifting is sometimes in the context of curbing of tax evasion by multinational companies.